All right, and welcome back to the currently Untitled Metal Show here on 91.9 FM WCAL. I'm your host, Zach, and, I play my favorite hard rock and heavy metal. Finally, joined in the studio. Got a couple people in here now. Getting ready to talk? You guys good?
Yep.
I'm joined by
I'm not sure what I should do with my hands, though.
You can do whatever you want with your hands.
Do I put them down? Or, I'm not used to being on the radio. Do you just put them down, or...
You can touch Jonathan with them.
Oh.
You can put them on him.
Oh,
I'll just put them here.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
Nobody can actually see you, unfortunately. But I'm joined in the studio by Only Flesh, or at least part of them, some of them. Would you like to introduce yourselves, who you are, what you do, in what order you want to go to?
Not me. Everyone knows I'm already here. You guys.
Maybe could you introduce yourself to me? I mean, that's just casual, kind of that's polite, I think.
Oh.
So.
Well, Rev, I just want to let you know.
I don't need an explanation. I just want to know your name.
I know I've been in the band since September.
See, this is what we have to do in the band, and it's just every day. It's just, and I'm just like, Jonathan, please, let's just be friends, you know.
I'm a bass player though. I can't be friends with anyone.
This is Rev. I'm the vocalist, and I get a lot of hooks.
This is Jessica. I am pretty much just like the performing, smiling face that joins them on stage.
All right.
And you are?
I'm Jonathan.
Nice to meet you, Jonathan.
Jonathan of Jonathan's Dirty Pick of the Week, Only Flesh, The Existential Gentleman, and Heavy Moment SN3.
Oh, busy person. But you've been here. We've talked to you already, so
yeah,
you're going to get cut off.
I wish I could do that in real life.
See, that's the glory of being behind the board. You can just shut people up real quick. See, watch. Now we can't talk. Well, we can talk, but no one's going to hear what he says.
Yeah.
We can still hear him.
We
know.
Unfortunately
for you.
But welcome to the studio. Thanks for coming down. How was your trip down to California?
It was not as long as the actual drive to California that we did a couple months back. We drove straight. It was, I think, 40-something hours.
Wow.
2.5 days to get there.
That is a lot of hours. I went to Florida, and even that was 20 ish. That's nowhere near as bad. What'd you go out there for?
One of our old managers was down there, and we were going down there for his wedding, and he was introducing us to some different people. So we went down there, half business, half for his wedding, kind of thing. I got to sit in the dinosaur head that Pee-wee did in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I hope to God that there is a picture of that somewhere.
There is. I did not realize this, but I forgot. But what's the Wonder Years kid? He did it in the Nintendo movie.
Nintendo movie. Are you talking about? Oh, jeez.
Where's the kid's got the glove? He's like, it's awesome, or what?
Oh, the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Yeah, there we go. Was the Wiz? No, what's the Nintendo movie? What's it called?
Oh, I can't remember it.
Jonathan, go outside until you can come up with the idea.
Oh,
this is what the internet's for. This is why you have such great reception down here, right?
Yeah.
No, I heard you on the radio, man. You didn't really talk about it on Flesh. All you talked about was a Nintendo movie.
It's okay. We're going to talk about other things, too, that are nothing to do with music.
By the way, do you have any 8-bit music playing in the background? I know sometimes you do.
No. Would you like me to?
We could if we're talking about Nintendo.
Oh, my goodness. You're making me change what I'm working on. You're not
it's
behind the board.
It's your show. I'm not telling you to do that.
All right. But, Rev, welcome to the show. You are definitely an interesting person. Probably one of the most intimidating that I've ever had to interview, and I have met Rob Halford. So that is saying a lot. But I've heard you're very cuddly, very nice, slightly less scary than you look. Is that true?
I don't know. I like to be, Kind of like, a nice bowl of cereal. I get soggy after a while.
Crunchy at first, though.
Yes. By the way, the movie with the Power Glove is called The Wizard.
See, I knew it was.
I kept thinking The Wiz, but that's like the Wizard of Oz thing. Yeah.
The Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, The Wiz is the musical of The Wizard of Oz. Something like that. I think one of our teachers made us watch it in young
I'm
school.
sorry.
Well, that movie is amazing. I don't know what you're talking about. where they have the wheels on their hands and arms. Those things that freaked me out as a child.
Who?
Man, you scared me already. Could have swore you were going somewhere else with that sentence. Somewhere that would have involved a delete button and maybe an FCC violation, but we didn't, so we're good. Right?
Good job.
All right. So we're here to talk about music and what you guys are doing. So what is Only Flesh?
It's kind of an umbrella that covers. We are a band that hops genres a lot. We do punk, metal, industrial. We've even covered like a surf song, some acoustic. I mean, we hop around a lot. It also covers. We are a suspension team, which means, for those of you who don't know, we hang from hooks. We do body modification on stage, live piercings, cuttings, brandings, things of that nature. We are also a sideshow, freak show act. We have a grinder team, which, for those of you who don't know, means we use grinders and we have metal plates and we spark a lot.
So it's not the anonymous sex hookup app.
No.
Okay, just making sure.
So we have a whole separate team for that.
But I mean, we also do like art exhibits under the name also. So I mean, we tend to cover a lot of ground. We are a equal opportunity employer.
I would hope so. You don't seem like you are in the right area where you'd be able to discriminate on appearances.
Harsh.
I mean, it's hard to have face tattoos and be like, no, you're too weird for me.
I'm just saying, long-haired freaky people may not apply.
He's not a fan of the ponytails, guys.
Oh, jeez, come on. This room is divided.
You gotta
now.
You gotta have it cut at a nice professional level. I'm just saying. Maybe if you had like a party in just the back and it was professional in the front, I mean, we could talk. But
Mullets are coming back.
The business,
Really?
the business end of things.
I hope.
Mullets are really coming back.
I really, really hope.
You hope so?
Yeah.
who says they ever went away?
Yeah.
Says the man with the mullet. He doesn't actually have a mullet. Don't worry. At least as far as I can tell, it looks very businessy
People were
up front.
picturing me in their head, and then you ruined it. They were picturing something awesome. Now it's just like, ugh.
Where's the
Joe
mullet?
Dirt with face tattoos and hooks coming out of it.
I would love to see Rev try to describe himself on air, then the viewers try to sketch what they imagine, and then see what the results are.
You know what? I know we have a couple artist listeners out there. Would we like to do this?
I mean, all the words that I was used to describe myself would start with the letter S. We have saucy, sassy, sexy, spicy. I'm saying, you know? So, take what you will from that.
Like a nice chili sauce.
Chili sauce.
All right. You mentioned you're kind of like a sideshow, freak show act. You play your music. You got suspension teeth. What does that all mean? How do you go about that, especially on stage?
It all depends on what we get asked to do. There are certain shows where they want everything, where we will play as a band, and during our set, I'll be hanging from hooks singing a song, or we have Jessica, she comes up on stage, she'll do broken glass walking, or machete staircase where she walks up the blades of a machete. I'll shove skewers through my arm. We'll have flesh pulls going on. I mean, we have fire breathers. I mean, we try to throw everything we can. It just depends on the venue and what they will allow. One of our last big tours we did, we had to cancel like 3 to 4 shows because it tended to happen the day of. The venue would actually do research on what we were and freak out. So they would then, instead of talking to us, being like, hey, can you not do some of these things, they would just cancel the show. So we were stuck out on the road like with 4 shows canceled, which kind of takes a big toll on your gas money and whatnot. So it just depends on what we can do where at.
Well, I was going to ask, have you ever had a show canceled because the they said no, and I guess so.
Yeah. It's a lot of people are very afraid of what we do. So we've had a lot of cancellations, or we will have
Bands will drop off the show because of Only Flesh being
Oh
on it.
we have had. We played. There was a show we played like I don't know what was it like 4 or 5 months ago where
Keynote Cafe. Yeah.
one of the bands messaged the promoter, and I saw the conversation, and it was pretty hilarious. They were like, "We love what you do, but we're just not comfortable playing with Only Flesh for what they do." And he's like, "What do they do?" And he's like, "Well, I don't want any of our fans to come to a show and be afraid for their lives or that they're going to get stabbed at any moment." And the promoter's like, "You do know that they don't just run around with hooks, right? They keep it to their own crew." And they're like, "Well, we just don't want that kind of like, we just don't want that to even be an issue. So we're gonna have to bow out." And yeah,
That's horrible.
I'm just saying, I come from an old metal background that if I had ever said that about another band, I would feel that I'd been, my masculine would be at, it would be like I would have to give him my man card if I was too scared to play with a band. Like so when I see other bands do that, I'm like, really?
You call yourself metal? What? No. But
They did wear shorts a lot.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I don't think I saw any pictures with them with pants on.
They must not have heard of the surf song. You guys have.
So I don't know. I think shorts.
We're
had
gonna
something
play
to do
that.
with it.
All
We're
right.
gonna play that here tonight. Yeah, the surf song.
All right, I'm cool with that.
All right,
But,
you'll have to give the listeners a heads up so they know when to tune out.
Oh, is it that bad?
Yeah, it's
You don't like surf music?
I don't. I mean, it's not that song primarily. It's just I don't like us. Like I just been trying to like I don't know. I think books. I think I'm gonna write a book. I think that'd sound better than our music.
What about me?
You think the book would sound better than the music?
Yes.
Would, like the
I think
sound
I
of,
think you can think that one out yourself.
if you pick up the book and set it to your ear like a conch shell, or like if you smashed it upside your best buddy's head.
I like the second one.
Are you threatening Jonathan? 'Cause
No.
I'm behind that.
I don't have any books on
We
me.
won't need a mute button anymore.
Yeah.
I'm a college student. I don't believe in books. No. Well, what if a promoter were to, I guess, discover what you guys do late, how would you like them to handle it? What?
I mean, well,
actually happened a lot.
the thing is, we don't have. There's certain shows like we just played with John 5 at Hard Rock Cafe. Hard Rock, you cannot have grinders. You can't do fire breathing. You can't even have a fog machine. They tell us what the rules are, and we just don't do those things. Let us know what about our act that you don't like, and I mean, we can always. I mean, we have so many tricks up our sleeve. We're not like a one-trick pony. Like if you take the one thing away from us, that doesn't matter. And even if you take away all of our shtick, I mean, we're still a band. We still can play music. I mean, so I love theatrics. I grew up watching Alice Cooper, Guar, Ozzy, Wasp, bands that had like a show, and I love that. And so when I started All in Flesh, I wanted to have a show. But primarily we are a band and we are playing music. So even if we don't do the theatrics, we still are a band. And when we're playing smaller venues where it's like really cramped, we won't bring in our light stuff. We won't bring in we won't be doing hooks because there's no room for it, so we'll do like a more stripped down kind of punk version of what we do. And so, I mean, each show is different because of where we're at, and maybe like if we're playing with a bunch of punk bands, we'll play more of our punk songs, or if we're playing with a heavier band, like we'll cater our songs to our heavier, more metal songs. If we're playing with industrial bands, maybe we'll play stuff with a little bit more electronics to it. So I mean, it's like our show, we can cater to anything. And then there's certain shows like we'll get booked. We were getting booked a lot to do a tattoo convention, so they just wanted the suspension part. They didn't want the band. So I mean, we get booked to do all kinds of stuff. We get booked to just do like sideshow stuff, without the rest. So I mean, that's the thing. We can cater to whatever. We just need to know what we can get away with.
Well, there's also your 1 month residency at the Haunted Hoochie you do every October. So that's like a straight month of suspensions.
Yeah. We get Haunted Hoochie. I believe they're one of the top 10 in the U.S. for haunted houses, and every October we're there every Saturday doing suspension shows and sideshow stuff, and it's really cold, but yeah, I mean, so like we would like to do the band stuff, but it's just not appropriate for the place. There's just not any room to do it or the power to do it. So we just entertain the crowd while they're waiting in line because there's like 500 to 1,000 people there, like at any given time. So I mean, the line gets really long. So they hire us on to make the attendees very mad. They get more complaints over us than any other thing that they've had there, and the owner said that's why we always have a spot there.
That is awesome. I love that.
They're
mentality.
one of the more extreme ones. Like they have all kind of like they have satanic scenes, and they have I don't know. Can you say abortion?
Yeah.
Okay. They have an abortion scene where this lady gets hit with a hammer and it shoots the fetus against the wall and it slides down and goes into a bucket, which I think is awesome. It's pretty great. and it's a big like religious area, so they hate the haunted house. And they're like, yeah, you get more complaints about that.
That is amazing.
And it cracks me up because they're there at one of the more like it's not for kids. It is just not. I see kids in the audience and I'm like, you're a horrible parent. What are you doing? This is not. And by the time they're out, the kids like twitching, crying uncontrollably, and I'm like, what are you doing? But if you're there to see all that kind of gore, and they're one of the touchy ones, like they'll shove you and slap you, and if you're there to see all that kind of stuff, why does our show make you so mad? Because we're doing hooks for real? I mean, like, I don't get, because there's blood and gore, and it's way beyond what we do, because we're not squirting blood, there's not like but the hooks are real. So I always found it funny that when they see it for real, they're mad, but when they're paying to go in to see it for fake. The first scene, you walk in, there's a guy, he gives you a little rundown of what you're about to see, and then he puts a shotgun in his mouth and blows his brains all over this wall. And you just see all this splatter, and it's like, so that's okay, but you're going to complain about us. All right. I see where it's going.
I mean, I don't know how to respond to that. That is just a
barrage of imagery.
All of those scenes still cannot provide more complaints than only flesh being on stage there.
I'm still hooked on the baby going into the bucket.
It's the best.
That sounds absolutely hilarious.
Kids at home, I hope your drawings are going well.
It's still kind of early.
Yeah.
It's time for kids to lay down in bed, get a nice story, hear about a mallet going into a pregnant lady's
That
tummy.
should be a song, Babies in Buckets.
All right.
There we go, song idea.
We got a bass right there. Why don't you start writing it? Write it over one of the talk breaks. All right. We've been talking for about 18 minutes. I'm going to jump into some music for a little bit. We're going to come back, we'll, catch up with Only Flesh a little more. I know you talked about playing with John 5. Going to want to hear about that. And definitely going to have a couple questions on tattoo conventions and maybe your own ink and what you guys do. But I'm going to jump into the music. This is Tortuga Bay by Running Wild. You're listening to 91.9 FM, WCAL, California, Pennsylvania. I'm your host, Zach. And welcome back to the currently Untitled Metal Show here on 91.9 FM, WCAL. I'm your host, Zach, and I'm joined in the studio by a whole bunch of interesting people. We got Jonathan.
I'm interesting? What?
No, well,
No, I'm not.
We got Rev.
Yeah.
Yay. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names.
Jess.
Oh.
Ika.
I was going to say Brittany, but I was like, that is not right. I know that's not
I
right.
did see today a post of somebody said, in the future there will be great-grandmothers named Brittany and Jessica, so it's okay. You're just thinking of me as a great-grandmother.
When I was a dancer back a couple of years ago, my stage name was Brittany, so...
Now it's Candy.
Is it actually Brittany? Or was it actually Brittany?
Yeah.
You were a dancer under the name Brittany?
No, I worked at the Dude Ranch. It was... I mean, we wore pasties, so it was totally... people respected us more.
All right. It was a classy establishment.
Yeah.
Do you still wear the pasties? I see that you got a lot of body mods, or are they permanent?
That's kind of a question that you asked me after dinner. I mean, that's kind of like, I don't know you that well. I think it's a little premature.
All right, I can deal with that. We'll go over the one. I'll ask you about the stuff that I currently can see. But as we were talking about earlier, and trust me, there's a lot of stuff that I can see. What was I going to say? As right before we went off and played some music, you mentioned you recently played with John 5.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good. It was packed. Hard Rock Cafe sold out.
Yeah, it sold out.
But yeah, I don't know. I heard that their bassist was like related to him or something, but he was young. I heard he was like 15 or something like that.
Yeah, he looked really young.
Yeah, he was super young looking. He was really good with the audience. He let some like kids sit on the side of the stage, and he was coming over, giving them high fives and stuff like
really
that.
Cool.
So he was really good with the audience. We didn't get a chance to talk to him. I mean, he was in his trailer or something.
Green room, yeah, whatever.
So we didn't have a chance to talk to him, but yeah, he did really well. The crowd loved him. I was very skeptical because I didn't know a lot of when you hear instrumental bands, a lot of people are like, ugh, there's what? So I didn't know if there was going to be a lot of people there, just because most times you like the guitar heroes don't get like as well received as when they're playing with when he's playing with like Rob Zombie or.
All right, that makes sense. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't know he was touring on his own. Then I saw he was coming local. I saw you guys jumped on the bill. I hoped it was a good show. I've not seen. Actually, the only time I think I've seen you guys was at the Hard Rock. I know they stripped down your stage show a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's not too bad. It's just we have lights and stuff like that, so the fog machine is the thing that irritates me the most because that makes everything look cool. But we can't do fire. We can't breathe fire, which isn't really a big deal because most places, since the Great White Incident of years ago, lots of places you can't breathe fire in anymore. They're very strict about that kind of thing. So we're able to do that, like, say, Altar Bar. But I was actually surprised when they let us do that there. So
the Altar Bar actually allows more shenanigans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
yeah.
yes.
We had there was some like fetish night there or something like that. We were doing like some hooks. We got hired to do like some like flesh pull and suspension hook stuff. And there was a a fire dancer there, and she dropped one of her fire sticks and kicked it into like
Panic kick.
Yeah, she panicked and kicked it, and then they like all these people like rushed up and like with all these fire extinguishers, like the chemical kind. So like it sucked. We had like you couldn't hardly breathe and stuff like that. I'm like, if they let her do that, then when we play there, I'm like, we're just gonna do it and not say anything. And then if they say something, we'll be like, oh, we thought we could. So we did it.
Before.
Nobody said anything. So we perform there enough where we do it each time now, so it's like known that we do it now.
Don't ask, don't tell, but with fire.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, what's the worst they can do? Be like, stop, and we're like, okay.
Well, they're very aware of it, and they understand.
So
that
yeah,
we're
now at this
professional
point,
about it.
but yeah, the first time we kind of slid it under the rug there, but they didn't say anything, so we're like, cool, we'll keep doing it.
Nice. Are there any other venues in the area that allow those? Or?
I do know one more.
What are the most fun to play at that you're allowed to do that pull the most stunts out at?
I mean,
Well, the pub's gone.
yeah, unfortunately, the 31st Street Pub,
Yeah.
they were like we love playing there, and they were a great place to play, but and they've been around forever, and they're like kind of a rock and roll icon bar, But like as far as like fire breathing, Altar's really one of the few places we can do that. But like the flesh hooks and the piercings and the sideshow stuff, we can try to throw that in anywhere. It helps being if it's a bigger stage. With Altar Bar, we usually get placed right before like the headliner act, which we get on a lot. We've played with like Misfits,
Doyle,
Power Man 5000,
Max Sabbath.
Yes,
Sabbath,
and
which-
soon again.
It's happening again.
Yep,
Yes.
we're playing with them again in September. But yeah, we played there a lot, and it's usually the headline act has most of the stage, so we got to squeeze in there. So I mean, we would throw in more shenanigans at the altar bar. It's just we don't hardly have any room.
We have a lot of people.
Yeah, and so because we have a little crew that helps with like when we're doing hooks and stuff like that. We have usually someone that runs up on the balcony to throw balloons and stuff over the audience when we're playing and stuff like that. So
The on-stage stuff can get pretty tough because if the headlining band does backline, that means we only get like 20% of the stage left for the rest of us. So it's a challenging thing sometimes, but we'll take it down into the crowd every now and then. Like we did at John 5, we had flesh pulls going on in the crowd.
Oh, that was a blast.
Oh, that was a blast.
It was my challenge to drag those two all the way so I could at least make it to the bar.
Yes, and,
Wait,
and then I did the
when
limbo
you
underneath
say
it
when
with
you
my
say
bass.
that you were pulling people, will you explain what you mean to the audience?
Yes.
When it comes to flesh pulls, this time I had 2 hooks in my back that were attached by rope to 2 girls that had hooks in both of their forearms. So basically it's a tug of war using hooks in your skin, pulling at different directions. They were behind me as I was pulling, and they gave me quite the fight. Mm-hmm. But I still managed to drag them while John was, doing the limbo while playing bass underneath of the rope.
Yep.
You did the limbo under the rope for people hooked together with literal hooks.
Yes.
Ah,
There's
Now-
pictures somewhere on
Yeah,
Facebook of that.
I don't do the
That's his
hooks.
specialty.
I don't do the hooks,
He doesn't
so
do the hooks,
I
just
find
the limbo.
other things to do in order
still
to
plays with the
interact.
hooks.
Yeah.
I was going to ask what a flesh pull was, but that kind of makes sense now. You hook a hook into
It's
your
like
flesh.
it's like a tug of war with hooks. Like the suspensions, you're going off the ground. But a lot of places we play don't have the rafters to hook our pulleys and stuff onto. So we make do and we do other kinds of stunts and things like that. Me and the guitarist have put hooks in our neck and pulled against each other while he's like soloing and stuff like that. So
I saw that one at the Hard Rock, and that ouch.
for one of our shows, he was we had a guitar strap made with hooks. So instead of like going over his shoulder, the hooks would go into him and hang the guitar off of it.
That is in the one music video, Favorite Shade of Grey.
Oh,
He's
God.
also played the guitar with the rope that was attached to neck.
Oh.
Ow.
That was at Hard Rock.
Yeah, it was.
That all sounds. Is it painful?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, it's a piece of metal through your skin.
Well-
It's a little pinchy.
But you know what? Sometimes
Love hurts.
rock and roll's painful, you know what I'm saying?
can you describe the pain of a flesh pull to somebody who has never, I guess, been stabbed and dragged with a hook?
I've never been stabbed.
It's like being kissed by Jesus.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's more
Okay.
like pressure than anything else. It's like
It's-
pinch some of your skin and pull it a little
It's
bit.
like when your mother looks at you and she's got that disappointing eyes. It's kind of like that.
How's it feel? It kind of feels like disappointing your parents. Yeah.
Feels like your mom saying rock and roll is the devil.
No, it's you confirming that.
Yes.
No, so I have a couple of tattoos, just obviously all hidden. Yours are not. Obviously, you can handle pain a little better than me.
I'm wearing more clothing on than you are.
Yeah, and
with those raised
got-
eyebrows.
I mean, with going back to the suspension stuff like that. I mean, there's times where, I'm sick or I'm just not feeling it, and it sucks a lot more. But there are other times where I'm, like if there's a great crowd and everybody's cheering and stuff like that, that it's like I'll want to stay up longer. So it just all depends. But there's a lot of pain involved. I mean, that was part of. I mean, I've been crucified on stage before a couple times.
Twice.
Once more than Jesus. But I'm not a one-upper. I'm not trying to one-up. I'm just saying that he's done it once. I've done it twice.
you survived both.
I'm just saying.
Very true.
How does that happen? How does that work?
I'm just saying that. First time he died, I got, foursome and 8-ball. You know, I'm just saying there's I don't know if you have to bleep that. I'm just saying there's comparisons to be made, and I just made them.
Oh, obviously, but how do you actually get crucified on stage? Like, how does that work? Like, ow.
Well, the funny thing is, we did a lot of research. My suspension team almost mutinied on this idea. But we were, I think, in Texas somewhere or Milwaukee. I don't know. They're kind of the same, right?
Close
but
enough.
we were at in our hotel room before the show, and we had it on the Nature Channel, and they were doing some third world country, and they had this festival where they just crucify people all day. They'll like nail them to a cross. They'll raise the cross up until they see a vision, bring them down, pull the nails out, kick them out, bring the next person on. And they did this interview with this guy that had been crucified 14 years in a row or something like that, and he was a carpenter, and he still worked, like that was the main thing, he worked with his hands. I'm like, if they can figure it out in a third world country where there's like they're using rusty nails, I mean, it didn't even look like a real hammer they were using. I mean, I think it was like a chicken bone. I don't know.
A railroad spike in a shoe.
I just figure with, you know, we have access to the internet. We have access to doctors that we know that we've worked with, and there was no reason why we shouldn't be able to figure out how to do this safe enough. And it's the funny thing is, we originally were thinking about like using like 8-gauge needles or something like that. No, the best thing to do is just to get a nail hammered through your hand, because it's dull enough where it pushes all the good stuff in your hand to either side. If you're doing something like an 8-gauge needle, has a cutting edge, so you can sever an artery or like a tendon or something like that, where it can cause a lot more problems. So yeah, it's just you just get
take a nail
hammered.
And a hammer and something to put it into.
And not too sharp, kind of dull.
Yeah, I usually grind them down and smooth them down so they're smooth.
Ow.
You know what? I'll tell you what. The pain. It's more painful to get them pulled out than to put in.
I can believe it.
FYI, in case you're thinking about later on, just putting yourself up for the night.
Well, maybe when I'm getting ready for bed, but it doesn't sound like I'm gonna have a pleasant morning waking up for it. It is hard to make me speechless. But this is difficult. This is. I've never had to ask someone about, what's it like to be crucified? Never actually thought I'd have to ask that question in an interview before.
I think your Christian and Catholic demographics has already changed the channel at this point.
I play heavy metal. They've probably turned it off about 2.5 hours ago.
Well, it might be a good time to go into a song that's kind of about that. We have Crucifixen on the list to be played.
That I can do. I can play some of the tunes we gave us. It's about time to go up soon. I got one more question. How did you get involved, like at the very beginning, with this, suspensions and crucifixions and all this, I guess, alternative freak show stuff, to put it bluntly?
When I started Only Flesh, I always wanted to do a band that had theatrics and had a great stage show. And basically, at the beginning, it was very bare bones, like it wasn't any the bigness that it is now. We were doing whatever we could. I mean, I would just take like a box cutter up, and I would just cut my hand open and pour it into a cup, and then pour the cup of blood over my head. I mean, it was real. Like I just kept trying to push it, and the more I learned, I became a piercer, a professional piercer, and I started looking into doing suspensions, things like that. And I was like, wow, I could hang and sing. So I started looking more into it, and the more suspensions and the more we learned, we became our own suspension team, and the bigger we would try to push it. And I mean, like I said, I get inspiration wherever we got. I got inspiration off the Nature Channel that day, and that became, we actually both the times I've been crucified, we have videos for up on YouTube that you can actually see. The first time we did it, we actually rolled up to the venue, and there was about 3 cop cars there. And we rolled up, and I was like, I made a joke to the cop when I got out. I'm like, you guys here for us? And he's like, you guys only flesh? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, then we are. I'm like, oh, I was joking. But apparently they had been told that we were going to be performing human sacrifice at the show. So they were coming, and I'm like, well, usually when you have those type of shows, you don't promote it through MySpace. But, so, yeah, and you can actually hear at the end of it, I'm like, because all the cops, I talked to them, all of them left except for one that had to stick around just to make sure. We weren't going to slide someone up there and just before we played.
And did you?
I mean, hey. That was the after party.
Well, have you ever had any issues with, I guess, the police while doing a show?
Yeah, I mean, like that. We've had a couple where it was mostly like suspension oriented stuff where they tried to shut us down. I used to live in Columbus, Ohio, and I started this Halloween party called Trauma, which is still going on. It's actually doing. I think they're up to 3 days in a row. They do it in October. It's so big now. But I started like 7 or 8 years ago, and they had these undercover cops go in, and they brought a camera, and we tried to tell them to turn off the camera, and they threatened to arrest us. So we're like, okay, whatever. And they're like, it's only for us. And then later that night, we saw it on the news. Sex party in your backyard. News at 10. So,
oh, sweet.
Yeah. So I mean, we've been trying to shut down a couple times. We know the loopholes of like what you can get away with in certain areas. So we ride that thin layer of what's right and what we can get away with.
But yeah, that's why I joined the band. I heard about these sex parties. then I showed up to Only Flesh practice, and it was just Rev in his underwear. So yeah. And his briefs.
Let's just say when he left, I wasn't wearing those underwear.
Oh, all right. Well, no.
Initiation.
I missed out.
But you were.
Yeah.
You got hazed? Did you haze him when he joined the band?
I guess. I mean, I guess that's what you call it these days.
Did you make him remove your underwear with his teeth? That sounds like something you'd make him do.
No.
It was more romantic than that. You make it sound cheap.
Yeah.
See, I knew that's what I was getting brought in here. It was going to be these tawdry questions.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't worry. We're gonna get to the music. I know the music's dirty. That's why we're gonna play it. We got some dirty ones. I'm gonna probably ask for what the inspiration with some of these are, but they seem a little obvious. at least for a couple of these. But since you mentioned it, John, I think I'm gonna play it. I think we're gonna go into Crucifixin.
Yes.
Do you have anything you would like to say to preface us playing this song?
You should probably look online and go buy it because we're poor.
Okay, you heard it from the man himself.
There was also a music video for this.
There is.
Yes.
I think we got some awards for it, though I cannot tell you what those are. I know we won 2 awards for it.
Best music video, best like rock and roll music video, I think it was.
Ever. Universe in the universe.
Ever.
I've seen some good music videos. We're gonna have to check this out.
It was an Oscar.
Yeah, we actually did win 2 awards for it.
I think you got the Fred too.
But yeah, I think in Pittsburgh there was some kind of awards show.
Cool. This is Crucifixin by Only Flesh. Show here on 91.9 FM WCAL. I'm your host, Zach. I'm joined in the studio by a bunch of interesting people, not including Jonathan. We've got Rev and Jess
right
from Only Flesh.
Hi.
Hey, I got the names right this time. That's the important part.
Good job.
Yes. I suck with names. It's a big compliment. I tried.
It's the little things in life.
Yes. We've been talking to these guys about, their ridiculous stage antics. So if you haven't seen them and you like a good, gory horror show of, I I mean it in a compliment when I call it a freak show. I don't know if that's how you take it, because I love different. I like weird. I think it's cool. You know, even if I don't, I'm a little squeamish, but I still think it's awesome that someone's doing it.
We have had many people pass out at our shows, so
especially down in Columbus at Haunted Hoochie. There's records.
I think we each year we try to break our record. I think the record stands at 7 people
at one time in one night.
7 people passing out at a show in one night. Mm-hmm. How many have you seen puke, vomit, anything like that?
I haven't seen anyone, but I've heard.
I've heard stories of people doing it, but I haven't seen anybody.
I mean, my mom did say that she had to delete me on Facebook because she started seeing photos and everything. It made her pass out, have nightmares, and puke. But she still doesn't mind hearing about it. She just doesn't want to see pictures.
It makes me wonder what my parents think about joining this band.
Our last guitarist that's no longer with us, he sent me a text that his grandmother sent him, and it was awesome. I crossed out his name and I put it up on our page one day, but it was like, you're not that type of boy. You should leave that band of drug addictive satanic people. I was like, yes, this is awesome.
That's great. But I mean, you get many parent-child combos hanging out at the show. People bringing their kids.
Oh yeah. Actually,
very
at the Hard
family
Rock,
friendly.
Yeah, at the Hard Rock, there's a fan. She brought in her little daughter, probably like 6 years old, something like that. Loved it. Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Most of the places we play are like 21 and up and stuff like that. But occasionally you'll get children, like if it's like a tattoo convention or like the Haunted Hoochie or like the certain shows that we do in town here. Like if we're playing Altar, sometimes it's all ages. Like there was a bunch of kids there when we played with Misfits. And usually it's kids really don't know that it's bad unless you act like it's bad. You know, like if the parents are cool, then kids, they're just like, wow, yeah. You know, like
it's a cool stage show.
Yeah, if the parent freaks out, then the kid's going to freak out because they're like, what's this? This must be horrible. Okay. You know, but kids love it. I mean, they love crazy stuff going on. They love visuals. So, you know, we're like a cartoon act, but with more blood.
Only flesh. Kids love it. Kid tested, mother approved. Something like that.
We do have a youth pastor shirt.
Yeah. It just says youth pasture on the front. Because I saw, like, it was somewhere, and I saw some kid, like some douchey looking guy wearing one. I'm like, youth pasture shirt. We got to have one of those.
Any other graphics on it, or is that
no,
all it
just has we have like this symbol that looks like a cross, but it's like the actual, instead of a cross, it's the F. It has a circle around it for the OF. But so yeah, it just has that on the front. I like to keep it vague.
Yeah, so people actually think, you know what, I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it. But we've done a lot of talking about the visual aspect of your show. You know, getting stabbed and meat hooks and hanging in, being crucified, and all those other, shenanigans. We're going to use that word.
Fun kid-friendly activities.
Fun kid-friendly activities. But, you say you're a band first. What is going on musically with Only Flesh right now?
Who knows, man?
I'd
like someone to tell me. That's the thing.
No. There is a whole lot going on. We're working on a new album, and we're a couple songs in. Still waiting for some of the things to fall into place so we can carry on recording. But yeah, when you look at the whole scope of music that Only Flesh does, though, the first album, like early Only Flesh, is very industrial. Then it became more punk, and then the most recent album is a little bit more rock and roll, a little bit more metal. And we're staying on that current trajectory for the new album that we're working on. So.
Yeah, I mean, we've always hopped genres a lot. I mean, we started as an industrial band, but we worked our way out of it. Audio Love Sludge was us trying to get a full band in, like drummers, guitarists, everything. With Gutter to the Grave, which is our first album that was out on Rotten Records, and that's one we're really trying to promote, and our next one will be out also on Rotten Records, but both of them we're trying to make sure have DVDs with them. Like Gutter to the Grave had a CD and a DVD. The new one will also have that. But I mean, the thing is, I listen to so much different type of music. I never wanted to be pigeonholed into one type. So I mean, on each album we have, we'll have heavier songs, we'll have more punk influenced, we still have a little bit of industrial on us, but we've shied away from that. I mean, we're a lot more metal and punk oriented right now. But I mean, like I said, we've had surf songs. We have like an acoustic number. I mean, we hop all over the place. Like if we feel like more violent, we'll do like more of a heavy sound. But I think that we should be able to, if we feel a certain way, then write that type of music. It's like I always try to I liked Mr. Bungle because they hopped genres so much, and I liked the fact that they had the freedom to do so. And I always thought that I never wanted to say that we were this or that, and I think that's been a hindrance too because people don't know. Promoters are scared to put us with, say, metal bands because, oh no, they're too punk. Or punk places, or oh no, they're more metal, or oh they can't play that. They have electronics, and the industrial bands are like, oh they got too much guitars. So it has hindered us a little bit, but I still like the freedom to be able to do whatever type of music we want to play.
In the end, you could just call us a loud band.
Aggressive,
a loud band, yes, a loud heavy band.
Saucy,
yeah, saucy,
sexy,
sassy,
spicy,
and sexy.
I can appreciate that. I like. I love when a band evolves a little bit. You see as they grow, their tastes change, and they incorporate all that into what they're doing. So it's good to see a little difference. You say you listen to different stuff. What are you listening to right now? Anything in particular?
I have this CD it's just basically the sound of baby crying. It's like 4 hours long. And it's set to like orcas mating, but other than that, I mean, not much.
So just some high pitched whining, some crying.
No, I mean, I listen to a lot of different stuff. I mean, last thing I think I was playing some White Lion on cassette tape yesterday when I woke up and got ready for work. But I mean, I listen to metal. I listen to glam. I listen to punk. I listen to industrial. I listen to death, grindcore. So I mean, it hops all around. Like my iPod, basically, if you put it on random, it'll go from I think I do have Britney Spears on it, but it'll go from that to the band we were talking about, which name was Butthole Vagina.
Ah, yes,
but not that.
I tell you what, though, when we was on our mini tour last fall, he put his iPod on shuffle. It was just nonstop entertainment. Just so much different stuff, just the whole way. It was awesome.
Well, speaking of mini tour, how was it? I know you guys went out and did a couple shows. Want to talk about any in particular stick out to you?
We played a swingers club outside of Cincinnati.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yes.
They showed us around the club, and normally it's you have to be a member to go in there, but for our show they were opening up to the public. But there was still a lot of swingers that attended, and it was kind of weird because I looked out in the audience, and half the time they'd be making out with 2 or 3 people would be making out together, and we were kind of like a back thought. But then at parts everybody was paying attention. It was a very weird atmosphere. But they had this behind the stage. They had this hallway where on one side of the hallway they had beds that had doors. And then
leather booths.
Yeah, and then the other side they had beds with no doors on it. So it was the one side was more private. The one was for the voyeurs, like if you wanted to watch people or you wanted to be watched while you got it on.
Sounds like probably one of the most interesting venues I've heard of a concert going on at.
Yeah. I mean, afterwards we had to go look for Jonathan. We had to pull him out. I mean, he had underwear on his head. I don't know. There was I think there was 6 people in there. I couldn't tell. I was counting legs, but I mean, it was. I just know there was a lot of oils. It was very slippery in there.
I passed around the hand sanitizer.
Gotta keep it greasy so it'll go down easy,
Oh my goodness! Gee.
That was a Frank Zappa quote, by the way. I'm proud of that.
Just I am lustfully eyeing the delete button. just like, ooh, maybe? No. You've been good so far. I don't think we've content-wise strayed.
We also
too
had a really
much.
awesome show in Columbus during that mini tour where we ran into some people. So we got to the venue a bit early, and Rev was like, "Oh, let's go check out these music stores." So we started walking down the one strip that's down by Ohio State University, and then Chris, our guitarist, who you may remember Chris from another band, by any chance.
This band?
Yeah, this band and another band.
The extra sexy gentleman.
Been on the show quite a few times before. But anyways, he gets a text, and the band Bethlehem is hanging out outside of the trailer. We're like, what are you doing in Columbus? As it turns out, there's a barcade right down the road, and they traveled to Columbus just to go to the barcade. And like the next morning, then we run into Max Sabbath.
Yeah,
Which was 4 days after the Max Sabbath show in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we had played with Max Sabbath here in Pittsburgh. Like I think that was the beginning of our little stint out, and then we ran into them in Columbus, and the guitarist was standing out. He's like, "Only Flesh?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I mean, it was good seeing them again, and it'll be awesome them coming back. If you guys haven't seen Max Sabbath, it's pretty hilarious, and I gotta say, like their videos online do not do them justice at all. They sound amazing live, but all the videos has very like the sound quality is very bad. They don't sound that great, but live they sounded on point, and they have so much props, and they take Black Sabbath and mix it with Ronald McDonald and McDonald's imagery.
The Hamburglar.
And just food in general. Like their one song, instead of Iron Man, it's Frying Pan. I am Frying Pan. So.
Well, I guess for those who don't know, Max Sabbath is a McDonald's metal parody band. The epitome of, metal. It's the apex. It's not getting better than that. I'm guessing it's their singer that dresses up as Ronald.
Yeah, and then they all they have Grimace.
Grimace is the bass player.
The drummer is the Hamburglar, but he has Peter Criss.
Yeah, Peter Criss makeup.
His makeup on. You have Mayor McCheese with the Motorhead tusks sticking out. It's just so good.
The singer with Ronald McDonald has the fringe coming from the arms.
Yeah, like Ozzy used to back in the Black Sabbath days, but it's like the red and yellow color of the clown outfit.
His mic stand is a straw from a big drink.
I just pulled up a photo of these guys. And, holy cow!
They had like grills on the side of the stage, which were actually their fog machines that shot out fog.
They also have little fry guys on remote control cars that drive around the stage.
And ketchup bottles they would squirt people with in the audience.
It was pretty awesome. I'm not.
It's a perfect combination, Max Sabbath and Only Flesh.
All right, so if the listeners out there, if you want to check that out, that's going to be when is this?
I think it's September 1st, I believe, but you can check it out.
Yeah, September 1st.
We have all our shows on our Facebook page, just facebook.com/onlyflesh, and we have all our stuff on there. It's not till September, so you got a little bit of time, but it should be amazing, and we'll have tickets for it, so hit us up.
I tell you what, I hope we have the same lineup as the first time, because the first time through, we had, of course, it was Max Sabbath and Only Flesh, but we also had Bethlehem, which is like, if listeners may know of Bethlehem from being on the show a lot. They're a Dungeons and Dragons death metal band. And then there was the Bloody Sea Men, and they are a pirate rock band. So we had all the goofy bands in Pittsburgh on stage at once with Max Sabbath.
Why'd you say it like that?
Wow. You calling them goofy?
Yeah.
You calling your band goofy?
I'm calling myself goofy too. You know that.
Goofy, as in like entertaining
Yes.
and fun.
Yeah, it was amazing that all the bands on the roster had they had an image. It was awesome. I mean, and all the bands not only have a great shtick, but they also have great music. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of bands that have some kind of image, and it's just all reliant on that, and they don't have the music to back it up. But that night, everybody brought it, and it was a great show.
Awesome. That was one of the funnest shows I've ever done because of all the chaos, and we were all friends. All three of the locals were all really good friends with each other, so there was a lot of hanging out and enjoying a couple beverages of sorts, and
drank a lot of coffee.
Yes. Yeah. So.
But
I might have had a Red Bull.
Okay.
Also good. speaking of the Facebook, I have it up right now. There was an important announcement, I guess, recently. You're running for president.
Yes, I mean, I think with all the people out there and all the promises being made, I mean, I think it's time for America to choose the greater evil, and that's where I come in. I'm here to make sure that I'm the first president of my stature and the last president. Period. Because after I'm done, it's over.
What are some of the founding principles of the Flesh Party? the on-air friendly principles of the Flesh Party.
I mean, what?
My mind went too far. I'm not allowed to speak right now.
It's okay. I went directly back to the swinger show when I asked that.
So did I.
That's one principle. We're going to have more swinger shows.
All concert venues have to be swingers clubs.
Yep.
They had a really awesome catwalk with like cages and stuff that's
Yeah, that
behind
was
the
awesome.
stage that I
Yeah.
got to play on.
I
And we
to go
got to
up there with
suspend
my
during
babies.
that too.
Oh man, we started playing. We had all our lights going. We had our projector going because we have like our own we have like this backdrop video projector that has our logo and all this edited stuff on it. And we had our fog machine and we had our grinders going and we were rocking out to our first song.
30 seconds
and then it went
Pop.
Everything shut off.
As it turns out,
The
everything was
grinder
on
blew.
one circuit breaker.
We blew the power. Yeah. But we played in Mexico like years ago, and that same thing happened. We had like 500 people out waiting for us to play, and we blew the power. And it was it was a massive place, and it took them a half hour to get back on. Blew it again. The third time, there was only like 200 people left waiting to watch us. I was like, oh man, like we've lost all our crowd. We started playing. By the third song, we had 1,000 people. Like it had doubled, like the original count. So
we all went out to smoke.
For some reason, they love me in Mexico. I don't know what it is.
They like to hand him their babies.
Oh yeah, they love to hand me babies to take pictures or video with me with their babies. I don't know what it is.
That's why you
I
need to
just
be
posted
president.
a picture. If you saw it, I'm hanging from my knees and I'm holding a baby, but the baby's, I'm upside down, so the baby's right side up. So
Looks
its
like the
butt
baby's
is
sitting
right
on
in
your
my
face.
Yeah, someone was like, just runs up and shows me their baby as I'm like hanging from my knees. I'm like, all right, I guess this is what I'm doing now.
Kissing babies at shows. You're a
He was
proper
practicing to run for president. Now he is.
Yeah,
He's
no,
running.
He really is.
He's ready.
It's a lot of baby experience, ready to kiss them all.
Do
every
you
single one of them.
do you think that if we put up a wall between here and Mexico, your viewer count at your shows is going to go down?
I think it will. I mean, I don't know. I think less walls, man. More bridges.
More bridges, more suspensions, more suspension rafters.
More bridges
Yes,
to suspend
that would-
from.
More suspension bridges?
Yes.
Pittsburgh has too many
there are
of them.
bridges that are suspension bridges, but
Have you chosen a running mate yet? And are you open to some recommendations?
I have not. I mean, I think Weird Al Yankovic would probably be my first choice. However, I am willing to hear, because I can see you salivating right now with your little with your page there. So let's hear him.
We've got a couple in mind.
You
Would
have
you-
a couple in mind. Don't
You
include
look
me
so
on this.
excited.
Would you take the ghost of Gigi Allen?
all right.
As long as it's ghost poo he's flinging, then that's fine.
Ectoplasm.
There we go. I've been slimed. It takes a whole new meaning. Ew.
Another one, I know he's gotten very political in the last couple of years, Dave Mustaine.
I love Dave. I always idolized Dave until I saw him cry in the Metallica documentary, and I lost it for him after that. I saw him on some game show, and they had like the celebrity where he was the metal guy. They had a rapper, they had like a country singer, and a pop star, and he was like racking up all these points because he's a really smart guy. And after the Metallica documentary, I was like, oh, Dave.
But he was on Duck Dodgers of the 20.
Did have a Duck Dodgers episode.
Yes.
And my final recommendation, I think you're going to like him. He is He was the frontman of Stryper. He's also been rumored to be the Zodiac Killer, Ted Cruz.
I've seen, he does. He looks.
Michael Sweet.
They are very similar in looks. I gotta say that I'm down.
All right.
Down with it.
So it's gonna be Rev Cruz 2016.
That even sounds good. Rev and Cruz.
I dig it. So you've got your
engines,
platform.
cruise forward or backwards.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
There
So
goes the show.
what is it? The primaries come through PA on April 4th-ish, something like that. Somewhere in April. But get your registration in. Vote for the Flesh Party.
Yes.
I don't think I can actually officially sponsor a candidate, but I like that.
Which you just did. So
Just did.
Eh, it's all in the name of parody, or is it?
Or is it?
Now, let's see. We asked about a couple of your shows coming up. I know you've got a few, some far away, some a little closer. Any in particular coming up you're looking forward to?
no.
It's a loaded question.
I think Jonathan here is probably the best to answer that. Don't we have a metal
Heavy metal Manessa.
Heavy metal molasses.
Close enough.
Yes.
Of course. Absolutely loaded question. Don't feel bad about it. You know,
No, it's gonna be awesome. You guys out there probably have heard of Heavy Metal Manessa. We talk about it all the time here on the show.
damn much.
But what's so awesome about this particular performance is that we're gonna have no restrictions on the fire or the sparks or anything like that. It's going to be an insane show.
Watch it when you say no restrictions. My restrictions is don't get the fire department called.
That's fine. That's why we're outdoors.
No,
We have extinguishers.
important to have.
And we have roadies to actually use them. So
People on
Even
your
more
beck and call
important.
waiting.
yes.
No, good.
They've been waiting a long time to squirt us.
Are you allowed to say that on the
The fire
radio?
department called on us.
Swingers Club.
At Keno Cafe, the same show that we had the band drop off of because they were offended by us. Yeah, our fog machine went off and it tripped off their fire alarm. And unfortunately, Jarrett, poor guy, the promoter, he had no idea what to do about it and did not know how to shut off the alarm to tell him hey, it's fine, you don't have to come. It's a false
the
alarm.
went on for 40 minutes. It seemed like. I think we kept playing though.
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
kept
we
playing.
stopped playing for
the
2 minutes.
A fire truck was showing up out front.
Lights blazing, ready to roll.
We didn't stop playing.
They came in, the show's still going on.
What's going on here? Yeah, it's our backing track. We're jamming to it right now.
But yeah, back to Monessen. Only Flesh is going to be closing out the night because we are going to have a little bit more of a cleanup compared to the other bands. So, with the cleanup in mind, it's only fitting that we have to close. So, and with the fire, and plus we have the light boxes and everything, so we have to light up the stage all awesome and everything.
I like the idea of
be
finishing off the show with a bang.
Literally.
Well, literally, metaphorically, really take it however you want. I feel like I got other questions in here too.
That is April 23rd, by the way. Saturday, April 23rd. And there's going to be 9 other bands on the bill, and it's going to be amazing.
And where is it at?
Monessen City Park Amphitheater in Monessen, PA.
Freud. He's getting you at this point. You mentioned earlier that you relocated here from Columbus. When was that? Why? Why Pittsburgh?
The police. No, it was. We were located in Columbus, Ohio, for a long time. I moved to Austin, Texas, for a year and a half. About maybe I don't think it was quite 2 years. I think like a year and a half. I went there for a job, and we took a little hiatus while I was there. And then I don't know. I just moseyed my way. We played here a couple times. But I was just trying to find a place to settle down, so came here, been here for about, I want to say 5 years now, something like that. So this is our new home, and we've been a lot more active. We're trying to get our new album out. What we're planning on is we're going to have 10 new original songs. We got remixes, a couple remixes, one by London After Midnight and Bile. And then we're going to have a cover song. We're doing Super Freak. And we're doing some old songs that were out through indie, that were on albums through indie labels that we're revamping for the new one.
They're going to sound fresh and crisp and ready to, modern Only Flesh. 2016 Only Flesh.
So, yeah, we're once we get that out, we're planning on doing a lot more shows in the summer to support it. And putting out some new music videos and whatnot.
You know what? Your music videos are always entertaining. How do you go about picking what stunts you put in them? So like, I feel like doing this one today, or
it's just we try to do like something that we haven't done before, or in a way that we haven't done before. One of our last music videos, our drummer had hooks in his back that went up to the ceiling with pulleys that went back down from the pulleys to a bar where all his cymbals were attached to. So it was actually playing cymbals off that were hanging off of hooks in his back. And then another shot, we had him have hooks in his arms that were going into pulleys that were holding up different mannequins and baby dolls. So as he was playing drums, all these little things were hopping around him.
The hopping baby doll was the best.
Yes. The plush body made the arms bounce up and down like, woo! It was amazing.
It was doing
the
Harlem
exactly
Shake.
like that. Woo!
where do you get the inspiration to do that? Just to...
The Nature Channel.
They actually pay us to promote them. But no, I don't know. It's just, I see stuff and I mean, it's so random. It's wherever I'm at. If I see something and it starts me thinking, I mean, I'll take a great idea and, turn it horrible in a matter of seconds. So it's like our new music video we're kind of working on. We're actually going to have our drummer suspended completely while he's playing drums.
Suck it, Tommy Lee. You're playing upside down to nothing.
So I mean, we're trying to, because I suspend a lot, and we're trying to get like different things going on. I mean, in the video so far, we filmed. We did in a meat locker. I was hanging by hooks in a meat locker next to a big pig, and they have like the railing where you hook the pig and you're pulling through the railing, while he's still hanging. They did that to me.
I physically felt my face drop with that. I was like, oh yeah, it's on the rack, and then I went down. What? It
was. I mean, I was excited because it kind of like a little roller coaster ride. But the thing was, it was freezing. I mean, it was below freezing temperature outside. So like the cooler is in the back area, which is open to outside. So it was freezing. So I had to be in hooks, topless. My little nips were showing, but it was like snowing out. I mean, it was horrible. It just your body starts to go in shock after being so cold and bleeding and hanging from hooks for so long.
We go through enough of that torture through Haunted Hoochie.
But you got to suffer for your art,
All in the name of rock and roll.
I do it for the kids.
It's for the children.
Kid approved.
It's for the flesh party.
Are there any, particular stunts you've ever had go horribly wrong live?
Other than me just singing?
Yeah, I guess that's a stunt, yeah.
Rev, you're making me sad.
No, we look like we're not trained at all, but we actually have been doing this for a while, and we are pretty safe about it. We have a crew. We've been, we haven't had anything go horribly wrong, knock on wood. But, I mean, we've done all kinds of crazy stuff. Like I did a zip line from a balcony to a stage once. We've done a couple crucifixions. I mean, we've done we've had like 4 or 5 people hanging suspended from the stage at once. There was another where I had hooks in my back. They were going up the pulleys down to mannequins. So as I moved around the stage, these mannequins would dance up and down from me. I mean, we try to keep it, sassy on stage. So we've been lucky to not have anything go too wrong. But, I mean, we go through a lot of safety precautions to make sure those things don't happen.
These guys have one hell of a crew.
So, I mean, this right before the
Molasses.
Yeah, that one. I mean, we're going to be actually
Metal Mennonites.
the suspension crew is going to be in Dallas, Texas, for a SUSCon there, where we're taking classes and learning more. So, I mean, I'm just going to be getting back from Texas the morning of that show.
You're a little tired.
We're driving from Dallas, Texas.
Wow. I did not even
We're
know
not
that.
flying.
Yeah. But and there's a big party that night. I could have stayed in Texas and went to the party.
Party.
But no,
Well,
Jonathan
we're gonna party
ruins
after
everything.
The show.
Jonathan
I
ruins
did
everything.
ruin
Jonathan
everything.
ruins everything.
That's why I play bass.
Everything. That's why I ruin my show with the last song every night. I want to make sure that it's over, it's done, it's not worth continuing. But
You play Only Flesh last every time you do this?
no, I pick his choice of song. Sometimes Only Flesh. But
I've done it before.
he has, and we do have it queued up. But I had a question at the top of my head.
Speechless again?
No, not speechless. I just lost it because I'm stupid.
It's 3
That's why
inches,
you're
but
behind a microphone.
It's why I'm behind a microphone and not on camera, because I'm awkward too. Oh yes, you said you're a piercer, a professional piercer. Is that like your profession outside of being a musician?
yeah. I run a shop, Screaming Crow Tattoo, up on South Side and right outside of Pittsburgh.
He's now the general manager, actually.
Wow,
Big boss man.
man, I'm so excited.
He gets to be the adult.
Most of the shops, I mean, that's what I do as my day job. So I mean, most of the shops I've worked at, usually they shove me into the manager position because no one else wants to do all the stupid stuff.
No one wants to manage the kind of people that want to stab people for money.
Hooligans, bunch of hooligans.
Do you you're covered in tattoos. Do you tattoo?
No, and honestly, I'm probably going to make a lot of people mad by saying this, but I have never met someone who did both tattoos and piercings and did both well. Because usually they started because they wanted to do one, and they're doing the second because they're trying to make extra money. And it's like going to a plumber who's also your doctor. You're either, it's two different things, and usually the type of people, if they're really good at one thing, they don't need to do the second. So usually they're bad at both or they're bad at one, but I've never met anyone who is good at both.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is more of a question because I want to find out because I think it's going to be interesting. What was your first tattoo, and when did you get it?
A unicorn on my... No. No, I actually was... I got my first one when I was 18. I wasn't... I tried to get it when I was younger, tried to get a tattoo when I was younger. I just... never got the chance to do it, but I got my first one when I was 18, and it just went from there. It was just a spider on my shoulder, and now I'm covered in spiders. But yeah, I mean, I've got, I mean, currently my teeth are filed, my tongue is split. I have subdermal and transdermal implants. My eyes are tattooed. I have scarification. I have branding. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, my ears are pointed, very heavily tattooed and pierced.
Do you have any particular favorite tattoos, piercings?
Tattoos, I gotta say my eyes. It was the scariest to get done. When you have someone, you have to look a certain way while they inject ink into your eye with a syringe, 3 different points in your eye. And if you move your eye while it's done, bad news.
Ouch. Ow. I didn't know it. I thought, because, I'm oblivious and didn't know the times that I had seen you in public, I thought they were, black contacts. Because, I don't know, I'm naive. It was like, this dude's a badass. He's covered in tattoos. He's got piercings all over him. Yeah, he's probably using, black contact. Okay, so yeah, it's legit. How do you go about finding someone that'll actually stab you in the eye legally?
Well, I mean, eye tattoos have been around for a long time. It took me a while to be comfortable with getting them done. I had to wait for there to be a lot more research done on it, so I wasn't just rushing into something that 8 years down the road I would regret. So the guy that did mine, Luna Cobra, he is the main guy that started it, and he his name's Howie, and he goes by Luna Cobra. But he is the main guy that started it. He's the guy that's done all the research on it, and so he lives in Australia. He flies into the U.S. and hits different cities to work on different people. And I had contacted him, so he came to Pennsylvania to work on me. I got him some other appointments too. So, but yeah, I didn't want to price shop or go to someone who would just learn to do it. So I wanted to make sure I went to the person that kind of pioneered the process.
All right. I've never actually met someone that has had their eyes tattooed. I've looked it up in the past simply because my favorite book is Dune. You know, blue eyes kind of comes, you know, you Google Dune eye, you'll see a picture of someone getting stabbed in the eye and blue getting injected into it. So,
yeah, the videos are pretty scary looking. I got to admit, I purposely did not watch any videos on it being done before I got mine done because I didn't want to picture the video while I was getting mine done. It's not a very painful process because you actually don't have a lot of nerves in your eye. Like when you feel dirt in your eye and stuff like that, it's actually your eyelid that's feeling most of the discomfort, not your eyeball. I did not know that before, but now I do. And I mean, I got to be honest, knowing's half the battle.
Knowledge is power. Straight from the future president himself, knowledge is power. Well, you know, it's not painful. But I don't know. And any other, I guess, piercings you love? I see you've got a bunch. I saw a couple photos where the ones you got right here, right over your eyes, turn into a little more horn-like.
Those aren't piercings. Those are actually called transdermal implants. They're put in by surgery. They got to cut you open over here and tunnel between skin layers, dermal punch the skin out, and slide this big hunk of jewelry underneath. Like the base is about that round. And I don't have anything screwed onto it right now, but I can screw like domes on or spikes or whatnot.
Okay, so I'm learning today too. I get, you know, lip piercings, yeah, makes sense. Eyebrow piercings makes sense. Ear piercings makes sense. Little plate, put little horns on your face. That one a little new to me. So very cool. How many tattoos and piercings do you have, or do you stop counting?
Hopefully, when I'm done, just one.
It'll just be you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've to count. I mean, I would say 75% of my body's covered. That's easier to say than the amount of tattoos, because once you get so many, like on a say an arm, do you consider that a sleeve, or do you consider that 30 little ones that form something? I mean, so most of my body's covered.
All right, I know I have a couple planned out. Do you have your next tattoo planned? Do you know what it is?
I mean, I have plans for my body. It just depends on if the person that I want to do it is around, or if I have the time that it's going to take. So I mean, basically now at this point, I have a bunch of little tattoos to go in the spaces around the other tattoos I have. I don't have anything big planned because I don't have that much space. So it's just filler stuff. I have a lot of insects, so basically I'm just getting little insects in between my bigger stuff.
Get a bird eating spider. Get a spider eating a bird.
That's morbid. I don't know why you're talking about that.
Because you have a spider on your forehead. A very large spider.
Why are we talking about death here? I mean, that's not what my campaign's about. My campaign's about life.
Life. It's beautiful.
Life.
It's
the
gorgeous.
slowest
Shed a
suicide.
tear. We all shed a tear collectively in this room.
It's the life that precedes the death. I had something else too. All right. In talking to you lately, and from what I've heard from Jonathan, you're a very nice person. You seem very pleasant, fairly happy at times. Do you have at times? Is it often that people misjudge you based on your tattoos and piercings?
Oh yeah. I mean, people are very prejudiced. People judge based on looks all the time. I've not been served at restaurants. I've had like
gas station attendants to lock the doors before you made it there.
We were on tour and we were playing this venue, and then right next door there was a gas station, and I walked from the venue to this gas station, just me by myself, to get like a Red Bull or something, and the guy, the attendant, saw me through the window. So he starts going for the door at the same time I'm walking towards the door. And he got there 1 second before me and locked the door. And I was like, what? Because it wasn't that late. It was like 7. So I knew they weren't closed. I'm like, what? And he's like, you go. And it's like kept pointing for me to go away. And I'm like, I just want to buy something to drink. And he's like, you go across the street. They have stuff over there. And I'm like, well, I don't want to go across the street. So I go back all mad and told the rest of the band. And they're like, oh, we got to go see this. So they have their video, like they have their phones out, like videotaping. And they all run. And over there, guy lets him in. Has no problem with him. Like he thought, I was like, come on, man. Yeah, so, yeah, I get it a lot. But, I mean, when you're heavily modified, you kind of, I understand that I'm going to get a lot of looks, and I'm going to get, like, people are going to treat me a certain way, you know. But, yeah, it's always funny. Like, if I'm dressed down, you know, like I'm just dressed casual, and I'll go out, and I'll see people, I'll forget. And people like look at me weird, or somebody like will take their kid and kind of shuffle them away from me or something like that. And I'm like, "What's going on?" Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm freaky looking. Okay.
See, because the closest I ever had to that is I once had I had a long chin beard, kind of like you, except I bleached it and I dyed it a different color.
That's kind of
really nothing
it's
special.
It's very inappropriate.
I know, right?
I don't know.
It wasn't anything
you didn't
much.
Tell me that that's the type of thing that I was coming to. Like, well, look at the time.
No, I'm getting
time
judged.
for me to go. It's been a while, so here's Rev saying adios.
No, it's time to kick you off. No, and that's the weirdest I've ever had, where people look at me like, "Oh, sweet, people must think I'm cute." Oh, wait, no. It's just something small, and I can't imagine what it's like, having blacked out eyes and face tattoos and horns coming off.
You know what? When we would do shows, I used to wear, before I got my eyes tattooed, I wear white contact lenses for shows. I wasn't one of those people wearing them all the time. Those people annoy me. But I got more people freaking out over my eyes when I'd wear these like crappy Halloween $20 white contact lenses than when I got my eyes tattooed. Weirdly enough. People.
Maybe it's because they look soulless now. The white is different. Yeah, I see nothing. Like I see no pupil.
Well, they say I got asked when I first got them done. I got asked why I did them a lot, and I'm like, they say the eyes are a window to the soul, so I wanted to board those suckers on up.
I dig it. No, see, it's interesting. Like I like talking to people slightly different. I like the freaks and stuff of the world, as you'd call them, I guess. And we're on a college campus. We like to not judge. We like to be all PC and friendly and whatnot, and tell people not to judge each other. So it's occasionally good to get.
That's why I was so happy to bring Only Flesh in.
It's nice to see someone who is very different, way outside of what the cultural norm dictates. And, we're all kind of normal people, just live life slightly a little wackier.
Well, the way I see it, if you're normal, you're boring. And who wants to be boring, right?
Whoa. Oh. See, now no normal people are going to come to our shows because you're being...
prejudiced against normies.
Yeah. Hey, normies. I got your back.
All right. I've got 13 minutes left. That's just enough time for me to play a whole bunch of, the punk songs they gave me. So we're going to play a bunch of Only Flesh music, including, if you'd like to talk about any of these songs, to preface on what we're going to be playing, we have Sexual Holocaust, Dead Girls, Queens of Sleaze, and the edited version of this name, The Fork Song.
Let's see what we got. I don't know. Sexual Holocaust is off of Gutter to Grave, our newer one. We were trying to do a heavier song, so that's one of our more metal songs. Queens of Sleaze is what I always pictured if Only Flesh was trying to do a B-52 song, Queens of Sleaze would be what would happen. The last song, we used to do a lot of punk stuff, so I like doing straight up punk stuff. So it's a little shorter song, just straight punk.
Dead Girls is much the same though. So.
Dead Girls, yeah, I mean, it was something that, I mean, it's more of a, like, kind of a shock rock kind of metal vibe to it. But good stuff.
Yes, very good stuff.
Is there anything FCC friendly you can say about the Fork song? Maybe it's inspiration, what it's about, content material, some of the
We hope
inspirational
you're hungry now.
Some of the inspirational lyrics.
It's a dad joke.
No, I mean, it's not really that offensive. I mean, it's our other punk song that Jonathan loves to play, CDF, is a lot more...
way more offensive.
We can't even say what CDF stands for.
Johnny number 5 CDF electric set.
We tried to... we actually, when we recorded it, we tried to get the sound engineer to say the full name of the song, what CDF stands for, and we never got him once to say it.
I can say what CD stands for. Cross-dressing. Land it there.
Good job.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I can work with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. We got some Only Flesh. So if you enjoy what you hear, come check them out at Heavy Metal Monessen on April 23rd. Not August.
Jeez.
Oh, God. Me and months are horrible. April 23rd. It's going to be a lot of fun. They're going to be closing out the show with maybe some fire. This is Sexual Holocaust. You're tuned in to 91.9 FM, WCAL.